to understand is racism, white supremacy is recent. Okay?
Huh?
It's recent.
What?
Okay. I'm talking about in the United States. Now you can go back to 380 BD with whatever his name. You know, when they changed everything from black to white, I can understand that. But what I'm saying is when, like I got into a conversation with these two women, Japanese women, and I don't know how it came up, but the question came up was, do you like your skin color, or we're talking about my skin color, whatever, but we asked the question, which is better, black or white for the skin? And they said white.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking to myself, well, why would you want to be white when you're clearly not white?
Yeah.
So in the sun, when the sun came out, they got dark. Now there's some Japanese people who don't, they burn. But they clearly got dark. And they said, well, look at my skin, it's white. And so I grabbed a sheet of paper, I put it next to them, and I said, this is white, you're not white. And they said, well, we think white is better. I said, yeah, but if you go out in the sun with white skin, what's going to happen? And they just put their heads to the ground and didn't say anything. And I said, well, why would you want to be in a condition where you can't even go outside and enjoy the natural heat and the relaxation of the sun?
Well, see, they end up getting mad at you for pointing that out to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, but that's ignorance on their part, because they should know how, at their age, they should know how the sun affects people who don't have a lot of melanin in them. And so for them to want to be white and then have to go through that whatever you want to call it, then that's not white racism. That's ignorance.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay.
No, okay, I understand. Okay, so why they want to do the makeup? I don't know. Maybe they just think they're ugly.
No, I want to go ahead. I think you're.
All right, okay, all right. Look, to speak on that particular issue, all right. We talking about. There's a certain class, well, I don't want to say class, but there's a certain element of the Japanese society, you know, who do, you know, go around here, you know, with those gloves on, umbrellas, you know what I mean, and all that other kind of stuff, trying to block out the sun. And then I still believe that there's this group in society that, you know, Ralph was talking about, you know, that acknowledge the fact that, yeah, you know, they're a little bit more black than anything else. And I don't say black like, you know, I'm talking about so-called black. They got the, the kind of, you know, African ancestry, if you will. But I think that's a topic for another discussion, maybe, because, you know, these two classes of people might have, you know, some kind of, you know, war against each other. You know, I'm not saying like a war, real war, but like, you know, a contrast of beliefs, okay? But, you know, all the other kind of stuff, yeah, you know, places like Korea, Japan, you know, they lead, I think they have a lot of plastic surgery clinics here, quite a bit, man. And like, you know, I think Korea is like notorious for, you know, having those plastic surgery clinics that westernize the eyes of the Asian women or people in general and stuff like that. You know, but in terms of education, yeah, you know, okay, yeah, well, education would play a good part, you know, but then again, you know, how would you go about educating people, you know, and yeah, you know, again, yeah, education is good, but you know, the question is how would you go about it, and who needs education more, you know, because like I said before, you know, you telling Japanese people about themselves, or you telling them, you know, about this, you know, they're more bound to get mad at you for telling them, you know, stuff like that, you know, and it would, I don't know, man, it's kind of hard to explain. So I think.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think, man. Okay, look. Back in the days, man. All right. Earlier days, my earlier experiences in Japan. You know, around the time I met you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the brothers back then, man. You know, they had they had the right idea. They had the right idea, but unfortunately, man, they just had too many different schools of I don't know how you say it, just too many different schools of thought trying to mix into one area, if you know what I mean. Back in the day, man, like if I went to Amemura, right? If I went to Amemura, right? I just see black people all over Amemura, right? And they'd be, African, some be American, they'd be Jamaican, be all kinds of, black people out there, right? And all the brothers out there, most of them, man, they have businesses. But what I think they didn't do enough of, man. They didn't do enough. What I feel is like building. I just felt like they were just, kind of opportunists. A lot of people, they jumped in, and I might be going off in a different direction, but I think what should have been was, there should have been more outlets, whereas, people were, being able to teach about culture and history and also other things like I can't, I'm not, like more like a community, like how, Chinese people and Korean people, they're able to make Chinese people, they're able to make a Nanking Machi. Korean people, they're able to make a little Korea. But, I think that black people should have been able to do something like that, man. They had a centralized location, and like I said, we had a barber shop for a real short time. There was like a barber shop out there, right? And then brothers didn't want to work together. You know what I'm saying? So instead of working together, brothers just took the opportunity. Okay, well, this is where all the black people at. So I'm gonna set up my damn hair shop next to another black barber shop, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing, you know what I mean? Instead of working together or seeing how, we could, figure out some kind of way where we could, expand or, do that kind of thing. Just, people was doing that sort of stuff. So, like, back in the day, like, if you're talking about education, right? Education and how it's important, I think that, such a thing is possible, but from ground zero, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of it might be a difficult thing, but it's still something that's attainable, man. I mean, like that's how I feel about it, but I might be going off in a tangent, or it might just be late, man.
I think it's kind of related, because I think it's still related to white supremacy, because part of the lack of the reason why we can't come together is because there's always you get rewards for going against your brothers, and also
that's true, man. Yeah,
it's also that jealousy, that jealousy, or they're even like, okay, if you look at the slave thing, it was dangerous to get close to people, so because they could be sold off at any moment or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that lack of bonding with each other is still present, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I see that a lot too, man. Like in Japan, man. Like how like how black people like scared to like talk to other black people, and like like it might not be related to what you're saying, but like it's like black people scared to be too close to other black people because they're gonna upset their white friends, man. You know what I mean? It's like, you see white people hanging out together all the time. They go skiing together, they go snowboarding together, they have lunch together, they ride the train together, do everything together, right? But then if you hang out, if you see another black person and everything, they're like, oh, no, oh, yeah, see, it's like high and by kind of thing, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you hang out with another black person and everything, it's like, oh, the white people gonna feel threatened by that or something like that. And they, even all the way over here in Japan, you know what I mean? It's like some black people, they just feel like they still don't want to offend white people and they don't want white people to feel uncomfortable. And I'm like, really, man? You know, like that really doesn't make any sense to me, man. You know what I mean? Cause I still contend that, you know, black is not a color, not really, you know, a race or anything like that. You know, like black is also, if you say black, it's also like a culture. You know what I mean? And so it's like, because black is a culture, you know, it's not about skin color or race all the time, man. It's just that, you know, like for example, if I say like, yo, I said the other day, I was like, yeah, you know, black people like spicy, you know what I'm saying? Black people like spicy food and everything, right? And then, you know what I'm saying, you know, a couple of white people chose to take offense to that, talking about like, no, that's not true, you know, like, not all black people like spicy, you know what I'm saying? And then they might, you know, talk about their one or two friends that they might have had, yeah, my friend doesn't like spicy, whatever, right? But what I'm just saying is, I didn't say that to generalize, but what I'm saying is, like, if I say Japanese people like sushi, nobody gonna disagree with me on that, you know what I'm saying? Because people generally understand, yo, Japanese people eat sushi because sushi's from Japan, right? Of course, there's gonna be some exceptions, you know what I'm saying? Like, there might be one or two Japanese people, which I have met, that be like, oh yeah, I don't like sushi, I don't like sashimi. Okay, there are exceptions, but does that mean that, you know, you can't say Japanese people don't like sushi? I don't think so, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that, like, you know, generally, most of the people I ever met in my life, you know what I'm saying, we like chicken, okay? And it's not that, you know, it's a stereotypical thing, but then again, you know, like, most of the people I met like chicken. And, like, you know, and sometimes, you know, a lot more often than not, it's spicy or jerk chicken or something like that is what they like. Now, you know, and that's just my point, man. You know, it's a culture. Black people have a culture, and they have certain things that, you know what I'm saying, is, you know, sometimes a little bit more prevalent within the black community than it is with other parts of, like, say, for example, Irish people, they do their thing. You know, Italian people, they do their thing. You know, Russian, German, you name it, man. You know, and Mexicans, they like tortillas, whatever, right? You know what I mean? So it's like every, you know, group, you know what I'm saying, is allowed to talk about, you know, the things that they do within their community. But then, you know, the first time you start talking about, like, oh, well, you know, black in America, American black, yeah, we do this, blah, blah, blah. But why does it have to be a race thing? You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, damn, you know what I mean? It's like almost like you can't talk about your history, your culture, and educate people like we were talking about, you know what I'm saying, without implicating white people, all right? And that's one of the things that kind of, like, you know, incensed me before when you know, a couple of my videos got flagged on YouTube, man. It's like, you know, and you know, you come to Japan, and then, you know, November rolls around and all this other kind of stuff, and then, you know, you as a black American, or you're a Native American, whatever you are, man, you know what I mean? If you talk about your own history, okay, in terms of, you know, how you know, perceive, you know, the history of your country, right? Then, you know, that implicates white people, and they're like, oh, well, why you have to talk about that, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, well, we have different experience, you know what I mean? Because I was, you know, I don't mean to ramble, but, like, you know, this other brother, he ain't here, he ain't around no more, but, like, you know, they ask, you know, he also always talking about, like, yeah, well, we African American and shit, right? So then, you know, one time a Japanese old woman, whatever, like, you know, she got him. She's like, oh yeah, oh, so, you know, what you African American, you know, what part of Africa are you from? Are you originally from Africa, whatever? Why do you call yourself African American? Now, she might know the answer. She might have just been fucking with us or whatever, right? But, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, me personally, I didn't even call myself African American, but he was like, you know, we were slaves and all this other kind of stuff, and, you know, but why do you call yourself African American if you were born in America? I don't understand. do you speak African and all that other kind of stuff, well, that's something we don't know, and that's because of slavery and all this other kind of stuff, right? And then the next thing you know, the Irish motherfucker was getting all offended. Well, it's not really about race. We don't really have to have this discussion. But why do we not have to have this discussion? Because, look, that's a question she asked him. You know what I mean? So now you getting offended, and now we having a big problem and everything. So, education, yeah, it's important, but damn, first, education, unity, all the other kind of stuff, we have to figure out a way to, conglomerize those things, man. All right, now I went off for a couple of minutes. I'm interested in hearing everybody else's opinion on it.
I think now I actually didn't get a chance to explain. I didn't explain what I mean by education thoroughly. So what I mean by education is, sure, there are forces out there that are keeping people from advancing, because the more people advance, then the more they'll be able to become stronger, and then they might institute a whole new system of maybe oppression. So that could be it also. That's probably the main thing. You're going to get in there, you're going to get control. But when I'm saying about education, why are we talking about it so much instead of talking about other things, is because when you're a father and you're in a house and it's just you and your son, or you and your daughter, or you and your kids together, and it's just you, there is no reason why in the history of black people here in America, in our land, is our land. We were
Yeah.
first.
Yep.